Hi, my name is Janae Ryder, and this is my Module 2 video blog on the telephone. Since the first telephone in 1876, people have reveled in the ability to talk to others over any distance. While the telephone seemed to have reached its potential in the early 30s, with more and more households having a rotary dial phone in their home, the telephone's momentum revived itself in the early 80s with the advent of the cell phones, and those were portable. No longer did you have to wait at home for that important phone call. But all of these cell phone models were bulky and with very limited service. Today, almost every household in the world has at least one cell phone, and in the U.S., most households have multiple cell phones. The telephone is one technology that has been shaped by human action more in the last 2 decades than any other time before. Today, parents will get cell phones for their children so they can get in touch with them if they're away from home. Business executives utilize their cell phones for video conferencing when they're away from their desks, as well as keeping track of their emails, chats, client lists, appointments, and work documents. Teenagers rely on their cell phones to keep up with social media sites, friends, and, of course, gaming. Even mature adults utilize cell phones to stay in touch with family and friends or get medical help in a hurry. The telephone has long been a major source of communication between people around the world. During the first 50 years after its entrance into mainstream society, people would use the phone on a regular basis to stay connected to those around them, their neighbors down the road, or their parents across the state. Teenagers would spend hours talking to their friends, while parents would schedule appointments and social events via telephone. Since the advent of the cell phone, there has been a dramatic increase in our reliance on this device. At first, cell phones were strictly for making phone calls, and therefore, if you left home without it or didn't have one, it wasn't a big deal. Today, our whole lives are kept on our cell phones. We check our email, text messages, social media, and numerous other things on a regular basis. And therefore, we sometimes can feel disconnected or out of touch if we forget our cell phone at home or the battery dies. Now, I believe the cell phone or the telephone is an amazing technology, but I have to wonder if we aren't becoming too dependent on it. Now, instead of families sitting together for a meal and talking, everyone is playing a game or texting on their cell phone. If you don't believe me, next time you go into a restaurant, take a look around and see how many people have their cell phone either in their hand or sitting right on the table next to them. So while the goal of the telephone was to connect people who are not in the same house, today it has almost become another appendage that we can't live without. Our new smartphones connect us to social media sites, so we don't even have to call the person we want to communicate with. We can put a post on their social media site or send them a text just as easily as dialing the phone. Now, I also believe that cell phones have made us lazy. When the telephone first came out, we had to memorize or write down the telephone numbers of those we wanted to talk to. Now, all we have to do is press a button because our cell phone stores all of that information. If I asked you your best friend's telephone number, would you even know what it is, or would you have to look at your cell phone? So while the point of the telephone was improved communication between people, I think the cell phone or smartphone has in some ways driven us further apart or made us less personal. I would rather hear my sister's voice than see her words in a text message, but we are all so busy that it doesn't always happen. Sometimes it's easier to send a text or post to a social website, and that's not the way to communicate. So I believe that while the telephone has been a great way for people to communicate, today, it's mostly used for transmitting data and not so much transmitting voices, which is the goal of it. Thank you.